Thanks to all of who have subscribed to our channel. Thanks for staying with us. Today we get to know who is this guy Klian Mbappé. Kylian Mbappé Latin, born December 20, 1998, is a French professional footballer who plays as a forward for La Liga club Real Madrid and captains the France national team. Regarded as one of the best players in the world, he is known for his dribbling, finishing, and speed. Born in Paris and raised in nearby Bondy, Mbappé began his senior club career in 2015 with Monaco, where he won the Ligue 1 title in the 2016-17 season. In 2017, aged 18, Mbappé signed for Paris Saint-Germain on an eventual permanent transfer worth €180 million, making him the second most expensive player and most expensive teenage player of all time with PSG. He won 6 Ligue 1 titles and 4 Coupes de France, including a domestic quadruple in the 2019-20 season, while also leading the club to its first ever UEFA Champions League final in 2020. He is the club's all-time top goal scorer, ranks third in assists, and is the 7th highest goal scorer in Ligue 1 history. In 2024, Mbappé joined Real Madrid on a free transfer. At international level, Mbappé made his senior debut for France in 2017 at age of 18. At the 2018 FIFA World Cup, Mbappé became the youngest French player to score at a World Cup, as well as the second teenager after Pelé to score in a World Cup final. He finished as the joint second highest goal scorer as France won the tournament. He went on to win the FIFA World Cup Best Young Player and French Player of the Year awards for his performances. He also helped France to victory in the UEFA Nations League in 2021, receiving the top scorer award in the finals. At the 2022 FIFA World Cup, France reached the final again. Mbappé won the Golden Boot and Silver Ball and set the record for the most goals scored in World Cup final matches by scoring a hat-trick. Mbappé is one of only 2 players to have scored in 2 consecutive World Cup finals, the other being Brazil's Vavá in 1958 and 1962. Mbappé finished in 3rd place for the 2023 Ballon d'Or and was runner-up for the 2022 The Best FIFA Men's Player Award. He was named to the FIFA FIF Pro World 11 in 2018, 2019, 2022 and 2023, the UEFA Team of the Year in 2018 and the UEFA Champions League Squad of the Season in 2016-17, 2019-20, 2020-21 and 2021-22. He was awarded the Golden Boy in 2017, the Copa Trophy in 2018, and was shortlisted for the Laureus World Sportsman of the Year in 2019 and 2023. Mbappé has been named Ligue 1 Player of the Year a record 5 times, and has finished as the Ligue 1 top scorer for a record 6 seasons. In the 2021-22 season, he became the first player to finish as both Ligue 1 top scorer and top assist provider. In 2023 he was named as one of the Times 100 most influential people in the world, and was ranked 3rd on the Forbes list of the world's highest paid athletes. As a child, Mbappé went to a private Catholic school in Bondy, where he was considered academically gifted but unruly. At 15 he began taking Spanish lessons, and eventually became fluent in the language. Among Mbappé's idols growing up were Zinedine Zidane, Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, Ronaldinho, Lionel Messi, Ronaldo Nazario, Eden Hazard and Thierry Henry. As a child, Mbappé received Robinho's AC Milan shirt as a gift from his nanny's family, who were Italians and supporters of the club. However, his own favorite team had always been Real Madrid. In May 2024, just days before his transfer to Real Madrid was announced, Mbappé said that he still follows Serie A and AC Milan, and would like to play for the Rossoneri if he is ever to move to Italy in the future. Mbappé's club career. Mbappé was coached by his father, Wilfried, when he started his career with AS Bondy. Another of his youth coaches at AS Bondy, Antonio Riccardi, stated, "The first time I coached him was when he was 6 years old. You could tell he was different. Kylian could do much more than the other children. His dribbling was already fantastic and he was much faster than the others. He was the best player I've ever seen in 15 years coaching here. In Paris there are many talents but I'd never seen a talent like him. He was what we call a crack, the best." Eventually, Mbappé moved to the Clairefontaine Academy, putting in a host of impressive performances leading to numerous French clubs, and Real Madrid, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City and Bayern Munich, attempting to sign him. At the age of 11, Real Madrid invited him to train with their under-12s and visit the club's facilities. Mbappé was tracked by Cannes for 3 years, but their relegation from Ligue 1 in 2012 and subsequent failure to win promotion meant that they could not afford his signature. At age 14 he travelled to London after an invite from Chelsea, playing a match for their youth team against Charlton Athletic. Monaco. In July 2013, at the age of 14, Mbappé joined the Youth Academy of Monaco, signing a 3-year contract. The club had beat competition from Real Madrid and Zinedine Zidane, who was very involved in efforts to sign him. 2015-17, breakthrough and league title. In October 2015, Mbappé was brought in by Leonardo Jardim to be a mainstay in Monaco's reserve team, but his level of skill and maturity prompted his promotion to the main squad after just 3 weeks. He made his first team debut 2 months later, on December 2, 2015, in a 1-1 League One home draw against Cannes, replacing Fabio Coentrão after 88 minutes. Mbappé therefore became Monaco's youngest ever first-team player, aged 16 years and 347 days, breaking the previous record set by Thierry Henry in 1994. On February 20, 2016, Mbappé scored his first goal for the club's first team, a stoppage-time goal in a 3-1 league win over Troyes at the Stade Louis II. At the age of 17 years and 62 days, he became the youngest first-team goal-scorer in Monaco's history, once again displacing Henry in the process. On March 6, 2016, Mbappé signed his first professional contract, a 3-year deal, tying him to Monaco until June 2019. In an interview with CNN, Vadim Vasilyev, Monaco's vice president, stated that he knew early on that Mbappé was a phenomenon. Mbappé scored the first hat-trick of his first-team career on December 14, 2016, in a 7-0 home win over Rennes in the Coupe de la Ligue round of 16, the first hat-trick scored by any Monaco player in the competition since Sonny Anderson in 1997. On February 11, 2017, Mbappé scored the first League One hat-trick of his career in a 5-0 home win over Metz. At 18 years and 2 months, he became the youngest player to score a league hat-trick since Jeremy Menez did so for Socox back in 2005. On February 21, Mbappé scored Monaco's second goal in the 40th minute of a 5-3 loss away to Manchester City in the UEFA Champions League round of 16. It was his first European competition goal, and he became the second youngest French scorer in Champions League history, behind only Karim Benzema. On March 5, Mbappé scored 2 first-half goals in a 4-0 home win over Nantes to bring his League One career tally to 10 goals, becoming the youngest player in the previous 30 years to reach the 10-goal mark in the league. On March 11, he scored a goal in a 2-1 home win over Bordeaux, registering his 7th goal in his previous 4 league starts. On March 15, 2017, Mbappé scored Monaco's opening goal in the second leg of the Champions League round of 16 tie with Manchester City. Monaco went on to win 3-1, and with the aggregate score being tied 6-6, advanced to the quarter-finals thanks to the away goals rule. In the quarter-finals against Borussia Dortmund, Mbappé won a penalty and scored 2 goals as Monaco won the first leg 3-2 at the Westfalenstadion. In the second leg at home, he opened the scoring as Monaco won 3-1 and advanced to the semi-finals. They were eventually eliminated from the Champions League following a 4-1 loss on aggregate to Juventus, with Mbappé scoring his team's lone goal in the second leg. Mbappé ended the 2016-17 season with 26 goals from 44 matches in all competitions, as Monaco won the League One title. He credited fellow Monaco striker Radamel Falcao as a key influence on him throughout the season, giving him the space to express himself and teaching him to be calm and serene during the game. Mbappé with Paris Saint-Germain. 2017-20, record transfer and immediate success. On August 31, 2017, Paris Saint-Germain (PSG) announced the signing of Mbappé from Monaco on loan with a mandatory purchase option of €180 million. According to PSG's assistant sporting director Luis Ferrer, the shift in Mbappé's decision to join the club was partly thanks to a convincing speech given by manager Unai Emery at the Mbappé's home over the summer. The €180 million fee made Mbappé the most expensive teenager ever and the second most expensive player ever, behind teammate Neymar, and broke the record for the largest transfer within a domestic league. He was handed the number 29 shirt upon arrival in the French capital. On September 8, 2017, Mbappé made his PSG debut in a 5-1 League One win away at Metz, scoring a goal. 4 days later, he recorded his first European goal for the club in a 5-0 UEFA Champions League group stage away defeat of Celtic. He starred in PSG's 3-0 victory over Bayern Munich in the second group game of the Champions League, setting up goals for Edinson Cavani and Neymar, the latter seeing him taking out a defender with a feint by rolling the ball under his foot. On December 6, Mbappé scored his 10th career Champions League goal in a 3-1 defeat to Bayern Munich, becoming the youngest player to reach that mark at the age of 18 years and 11 months. Having already won his first league title with the club, on May 8, 2018, Mbappé featured in PSG's 2-0 win over Les Herbiers in the Coupe de France final. In July 2018, Mbappé was given the number 7 jersey for the upcoming season with PSG, taking up the squad number left vacant by Lucas Moura. Sporting the hashtag K7Lien, Mbappé stated, "I keep trying to progress on the pitch and I think that, for me, it was the right time to change number. It is something of an affirmation. The number 7 shirt is a legendary one and many greats have worn it. I hope that I will be able to do this number justice on the pitch." In his first appearance of the season, Mbappé scored twice in the last 10 minutes as PSG won 3-1 against Guingamp in Ligue 1. In the following league game, the front three of Mbappé, Cavani and Neymar all scored in a 3-1 win over Angers at home, with Mbappé, starting his first game of the season, scoring from a volley and setting up Neymar to score the third. On September 1, he scored and assisted in a 4-2 away win over Nîmes, but was sent off for the first time in his career with a straight red card in injury time, after shoving Taji Savanier in retaliation for a late challenge from behind, for which Savanier was also sent off. Regarding his sending off, Mbappé told reporters after the match, "If I had the chance to do it over again, I would do the same thing. I will apologize to the supporters and everybody, but I cannot tolerate this sort of thing." On October 8, Mbappé scored 4 goals in just 13 minutes in a 5-0 home victory over Lyon and became the youngest player, at 19 years and 9 months, to score 4 goals in one game in Ligue 1 over the last 45 seasons. On December 3, Mbappé was the inaugural winner of the Copa Trophy, which is awarded by France Football to the best under-21 player in the world. On January 19, 2019, Mbappé was one of 2 players, the other being Cavani, to score a hat-trick in a 9-0 win over Guingamp, breaking a record PSG had set the previous season. On February 12, he scored a goal in a 2-0 win over Manchester United at Old Trafford in the Champions League round of 16. On March 2, he scored twice in a 2-1 away win over Cannes to reach his 50th goal with the club. On March 6, PSG lost 3-1 at home against Manchester United and was subsequently knocked out from the Champions League on the away goals rule. On April 21, he scored a hat-trick in a 3-1 win against Monaco, netting his first goals against his former club. PSG finished the season as Ligue 1 champions, with Mbappé winning the Player of the Year award, while also finishing the season as the top goalscorer with 33 goals. On August 3, Mbappé scored in a 2-1 win over Rennes to capture his first title of the 2019-20 season, the Trophée des Champions. He then scored again in PSG's opening Ligue 1 match of the season, a 3-0 home win over Nîmes on 11 August. On October 22, he came off the bench and scored a perfect hat-trick in a 5-0 away win over Belgian side Club Brugge in the Champions League. At the age of 20 years and 306 days, he became the youngest player ever to score at least 15 goals in the competition. On May 1, 2020, PSG were crowned Ligue 1 champions after the season had been called off amid the COVID-19 pandemic. At the time of the league's premature suspension, PSG were in first place, with a 12-point lead over second-placed Marseille. Mbappé finished the 2019-20 season as joint top scorer in Ligue 1 with 18 goals, along with Monaco's Wissam Ben Yedder. However, Mbappé was assigned the title due to his higher goals per game ratio. On July 24, in the Coupe de France final against Saint-Étienne, Mbappé was forced off after sustaining an injury following a challenge from Loic Perrin, who was sent off. PSG won the match 1-0, although Mbappé was ruled out of the Coupe de la Ligue final, which PSG went on to win, completing a domestic treble. He returned to action in the Champions League quarter-final against Atlanta on August 12, coming on a substitute, and assisting Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting's match-winning goal in injury time. PSG eventually suffered a 1-0 loss to Bayern Munich in the Champions League final on August 23. 2020-22, further triumphs and contract extension. Mbappé missed the first 3 matches of the season after contracting COVID-19 while being on international duty. He returned to action on September 20, 2020, in a 3-0 away win against Nice, and scored a goal from a penalty kick. On October 28, Mbappé recorded 2 assists, both for Moise Kean, in a 2-0 Champions League group stage victory against Istanbul Basaksehir. In doing so, he became the player with the most assists in the competition since the beginning of the 2017-18 edition, with his tally adding up to 14 over the 4 seasons. In a Ligue 1 match against Montpellier on December 5, Mbappé scored his 100th goal for PSG, becoming only the fifth player to achieve the feat for the Parisian club. In his side's final Champions League group match, Mbappé scored his first 2 goals of the European campaign against Başakşehir, as PSG won 5-1 and qualified for the knockout phase as group winners. He also became the youngest player in Champions League history to reach 20 goals, although this record would then be surpassed by Erling Haaland later on in the same season. On February 16, 2021, Mbappé became only the third player, after Faustino Asprilla and Andriy Shevchenko, to score a Champions League hat-trick against Barcelona, doing so in PSG's 4-1 round of 16 win at the Camp Nou. Mbappé's hat-trick also saw him overtake Paredes' total of 109 goals to become PSG's third highest scorer, with only Cavani, 200 goals, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic, 156 goals, getting more for the club. On February 27, Mbappé scored twice in a 4-0 away win against Dijon, becoming the first player to score 5 braces in the Ligue 1 season. In the second leg against Barcelona on March 10, Mbappé scored from the spot in a 1-1 draw at the Parc des Princes, as his side advanced to the quarter-finals 5-2 on aggregate. Mbappé's penalty was his 25th Champions League goal, surpassing opponent Lionel Messi as the youngest player to reach this milestone, at 22 years and 80 days. In the first leg of the Champions League quarter-final against Bayern Munich on April 7, Mbappé scored 2 goals, helping his team to a 3-2 win at the Allianz Arena, PSG's first victory in Munich since 1994. The French club later progressed to the semi-finals to be eventually eliminated by Manchester City. The forward missed the second leg due to a calf injury. 115 On May 19, Mbappé scored once and assisted the second in the Coupe de France final against his former club Monaco, as PSG won 2-0 to claim their first major trophy of the season. He ended the Ligue 1 campaign with 27 goals, becoming the top scorer for the third consecutive season. Although PSG missed out on the Ligue 1 title, it was the first time in Mbappé's career where he did not win the league after 4 consecutive successes. Mbappé ended the season by receiving the Ligue 1 Player of the Year award and being included in the Ligue 1 Team of the Season. On August 14, 2021, prior to Paris Saint-Germain's opening home match of the 2021-22 season against Strasbourg, Mbappé was booed by the Parc des Princes amidst rumors that he wanted to sign for Spanish club Real Madrid. The match ended in a 4-2 victory for the Parisians, with the forward setting up 3 of his team's goals. He scored his first goal of the season in a 4-2 away win against Brest 6 days later. In the following match against Reims on August 29, in which Lionel Messi notably made his debut for PSG, Mbappé scored a brace in a 2-0 Rouge et Bleu victory. On November 24, he scored in a 2-1 Champions League defeat to Manchester City at the City of Manchester Stadium. On December 7, he scored 2 goals in a 4-1 Champions League home win over Club Brugge. The goals, which were his 30th and 31st in the Champions League, made him the youngest player to reach this milestone in the history of the competition. On December 12, 2021, Mbappé scored twice against Monaco in Ligue 1 to reach a century of league goals for PSG. At 22 years and 357 days old, he became the youngest player to score 100 goals for a single team in the French top flight since Opta began recording data in the 1950-51 season. On January 3, 2022, Mbappé scored his first hat-trick of the season in a 4-0 Coupe de France win over Vannes. On February 11, he scored the winning goal in stoppage time in a 1-0 league win over Rennes, a feat he repeated 4 days later, in a 1-0 Champions League victory over Real Madrid in the first leg of the round of 16. He scored another goal in the second leg, making him the second highest goal scorer in Paris Saint-Germain's history. However, his team was knocked out following a 3-1 defeat at the Santiago Bernabéu. On May 21, 2022, Mbappé extended his contract with PSG until 2025, 132, despite speculations of a possible transfer to Real Madrid, which prompted La Liga officials to file a complaint to UEFA regarding accumulating losses of PSG in the previous years. Mbappé himself reportedly called and spoke to Real Madrid's president Florentino Perez, telling him that he would not be signing for Real Madrid. 135, according to Sky Sports, the financial details of Mbappé's contract included a monthly wage of £4 million, making him the highest-paid player in the world. Mbappé and PSG also reportedly secured a signing-on figure in the region of £100 million. In the hours following the forward's contract extension, he scored a hat-trick in a 5-0 win over Metz, to finish the season with 28 goals as top scorer for the fourth consecutive season. He became the third player to finish as Ligue 1's top scorer for 4 seasons in a row. Mbappé also provided 17 assists in the season, becoming the first player to finish as both top scorer and top assist provider in the league's history. 2022-24, all-time club goal scorer and final seasons. On August 13, 2022, Mbappé scored his first goal of the season for PSG in a 5-2 home victory over Montpellier, after having missed a penalty earlier in the match. 8 days later, he scored his first hat-trick of the season in a 7-1 away win over Lille. His first goal in the match was clocked at 8 seconds, making it the second fastest goal ever scored in Ligue 1 history, tenths of seconds later than Michel Rio's goal for Caen against Caen in 1992. On September 6, Mbappé scored a brace in PSG's opening Champions League fixture against Juventus, securing a 2-1 home victory for the Parisians. On October 11, he scored a penalty in a 1-1 Champions League draw at home to Benfica, becoming the leading goal scorer for PSG in European competitions with 31 goals. However, the match was played in the backdrop of media reports that Mbappé wanted to leave PSG in the January transfer window, rumors which he denied, saying, "I'm very happy. I never asked for my departure in January." On January 23, 2023, Mbappé became the first PSG player to score 5 goals in a match, including a 10-minute hat-trick, in a 7-0 rout of Pays de Castle in the Coupe de France round of 32. On February 26, he scored 2 goals and assisted another as PSG defeated Marseille 3-0 in Le Classique. He thus became the club's joint all-time top goal scorer with 200 goals, equalizing Edinson Cavani's record. In the following match, a 4-2 win over Nantes, he scored his 201st goal for PSG, taking the throne as the club's leading scorer. He ended the Ligue 1 campaign with 29 goals, to become the top scorer for the 5th consecutive SE. The forward also ended the season by receiving the Ligue 1 Player of the Year award for the 4th consecutive season and featuring in the Ligue 1 Team of the Season. Season as PSG won their record 11th Ligue 1 title. On June 13, 2023, via an official statement released through Agence France Presse, Mbappé announced his decision not to renew his contract with PSG, which was set to expire in June 2024. According to him, the club had been informed about his decision since July 15, 2022. In response to an article published by Le Parisien about his reported desire to join Real Madrid in the upcoming summer window, Mbappé tweeted that the rumors were lies, reaffirming his intention to continue at PSG next season, where he is very happy. However, during the unveiling of new manager Luis Enrique on July 5, 2023, PSG president Nasser Al-Khelaifi clarified the club's stance on Mbappé, stating that if he wants to stay, he needs to sign a new contract. On July 21, Mbappé was excluded from PSG's pre-season tour in Japan. After much speculation surrounding his future at Paris Saint-Germain, a statement from the club on August 13, 2023, confirmed Mbappé's reintegration into the first team. This followed constructive and positive discussions between the player and the club ahead of their season opener against Lorient. Mbappé eventually made his first appearance of the 2023-24 season in a 1-1 draw away to Toulouse on August 19, scoring the game's only goal and PSG's first of the season. On August 26, he scored his 150th and 151st Ligue 1 goals for the club as PSG beat Lens 3-1 at home. On September 19, Mbappé scored PSG's first Champions League goal of the season in a 2-0 win over Borussia Dortmund. He scored the opening goal in a 3-0 win over AC Milan on matchday 3 of the competition on October 25. On November 11, Mbappé scored his first hat-trick of the season in a 3-0 win over Reims, lifting PSG to the top of the Ligue 1 table. On November 28, Mbappé scored a penalty 8 minutes into stoppage time, to salvage a 1-1 draw against Newcastle United and keep PSG in the Champions League, which proved to be crucial for the club, as they qualified to the knockout stages, following a 1-1 away draw against Borussia Dortmund on December 13. On January 3, 2024, Mbappé scored the second goal in a 2-0 victory over Toulouse in the 2023 Trophy de Champions, securing his first trophy of the season. In the process, Mbappé became the all-time top goal scorer at the Parc des Princes, with his 111th goal surpassing Edinson Cavani's scoring record. On January 7, 2024, Mbappé scored his first hat-trick of the year in a 9-0 thrashing of Revel in the round of 64 of the Coupe de France, becoming the club's all-time top scorer in the competition by bringing his goal tally to 30. On February 15, it was reported in the media that Mbappé had informed PSG that he intended to leave the club upon expiration of his contract in June 2024. On March 5, he scored a brace in a 2-1 win away to Real Sociedad in the round of 16 of the Champions League, securing PSG's qualification to the quarter-finals for the first time since the 2020-21 season. Mbappé scored his second hat-trick of the regular season and his first of the year on March 19 in a 6-2 win away at Montpellier, taking him to 250 goals in all competitions for PSG. On April 16, he scored 2 goals in a 4-1 away win over Barcelona to help PSG qualify for the Champions League semi-finals after having lost the first leg 3-2 at the Parc des Princes. In the semi-finals, PSG was knocked out by Borussia Dortmund, after losing 2-0 on aggregate. On May 10, 2024, Mbappé announced via his social media that he would depart Paris Saint-Germain at the end of the season, stating he would not renew his contract, marking the end of his career at the club. On May 12, he played his last match at the Parc des Princes as a PSG player, scoring a goal in a 3-1 loss to Toulouse. He played his final match for the club on May 25, featuring in the entirety of PSG's Coupe de France final victory over Lyon, securing his last title with the club. Additionally, he concluded his final season with PSG as the Champions League top scorer with 8 goals, along with Harry Kane. On June 3, 2024, La Liga club Real Madrid announced that Mbappé had signed a 5-year contract with the club, 2 days after the club's triumph against Borussia Dortmund in the 2024 UEFA Champions League final, concluding a highly anticipated 7-year transfer saga. His move to Real Madrid had been the subject of intense speculation and negotiations, reflecting his status as one of football's most sought-after players. On July 10, Real Madrid announced that Mbappé's presentation would be held at the Santiago Bernabéu on July 16. Later that day he received the number 9 shirt, becoming the first Real Madrid player to wear this number since compatriot Karim Benzema. On July 16, Mbappé was unveiled as a new Real Madrid player at the Santiago Bernabéu. His presentation was attended by 80,000 spectators, the same number as Cristiano Ronaldo's presentation in 2009. Mbappé made his debut for Real Madrid on August 14, 2024 in the 2024 UEFA Super Cup against Atlanta, scoring the second goal of a 2-0 win that he debuted in La Liga on August 18, during a match that ended in a 1-1 draw against Mallorca. On September 1, Mbappé scored his first La Liga goals, netting both in Real Madrid's 2-0 victory against Real Betis. He opened the scoring in the 67th minute and added a second from the penalty spot 8 minutes later. On September 17, Mbappé scored his first Champions League goal for Real Madrid, opening the scoring in their 3-1 victory over VfB Stuttgart during the inaugural matchday of the newly formatted Champions League phase. On December 10, Mbappé scored his 50th Champions League goal in a 3-2 victory against Atlanta. Mbappe's international career. 2014-2018, youth level and senior debut. In July 2016, Mbappé scored 5 times for France as they won the 2016 UEFA European Under-19 Championship. His second-half brace in the 3-1 victory over Portugal in the semi-finals had helped his team reach the final that he was included in the competition's team of the tournament. Mbappé received his first call-up to the French senior squad to face Luxembourg and Spain in March 2017. He debuted on March 25 against the former opponent, coming on as a substitute to Dimitri Payet in the 78th minute of a 3-1 2018 FIFA World Cup qualification away victory. 198 On August 31, Mbappé scored his first senior international goal in a 2018 World Cup qualification match against the Netherlands. He scored twice in a March 2018 friendly match against Russia. 2018-2021, FIFA World Cup triumph. On May 17, 2018, Mbappé was called up to the France squad for the 2018 World Cup in Russia. On June 21, 2018, he scored his first World Cup goal in Les Bleus' 1-0 group stage win over Peru. This made him the youngest French goal scorer in World Cup history, aged 19. On June 30, 2018, he was named man of the match in a 4-3 win over Argentina in the round of 16, having won a penalty for his team and scored 2 goals. Mbappé was the second teenager to score 2 goals in a World Cup match after Pelé in 1958. In a post-match press conference he stated, "It's flattering to be the second one after Pelé, but let's put things into context. Pelé is in another category." On July 15, Mbappé scored with a 25-yard strike against Croatia in the 2018 World Cup final, with France gaining a 4-2 win. He became the second teenager after Pelé to score in a World Cup final. Moreover, having scored 4 goals in the tournament, he received the FIFA World Cup Best Young Player award. Pelé congratulated him on social media, saying, quote, "Welcome to the club." On June 11, 2019, Mbappé scored his 100th career goal in a 4-0 away win over Andorra in Euro 2020 qualifying. On September 5, 2020, Mbappé scored the only goal for France in a 1-0 UEFA Nations League win against Sweden. However, 2 days after the game he tested positive for COVID-19. He returned to play for France in a 7-1 victory against Ukraine on October 7, 2020, scoring a goal. 1 week later he scored the match-winning goal in a 2-1 win against Croatia. 213 France topped their Nations League group and qualified for the 2021 UEFA Nations League finals. UEFA Euro 2020 was postponed for a year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. On May 18, 2021, Mbappé was included in the France squad for UEFA Euro 2020, his second major international tournament. On June 15, he scored a goal and assisted another one, both of which were later deemed to be offside in a group stage match against Germany. On June 28, he provided the assist for Karim Benzema's first goal in France's match against Switzerland in the round of 16. After a 3-3 draw, the game went to a penalty shootout. Mbappé failed to score the decisive 5th penalty, and France were eliminated from the tournament. The forward failed to score in any of the 4 games France played in the competition. 2021 to 2023. Nations League title and second consecutive World Cup final. In the Nations League semi-final on October 7, 2021, Mbappé assisted Benzema and later scored a goal himself from the penalty spot to help France come from behind and defeat Belgium 3-2. In the process, he made his 50th appearance for Les Bleus at 22 years and 9.5 months old. 3 days later, in the final against Spain, he once again set up Benzema to tie the match, and later scored the winning goal to give France a 2-1 victory and clinch their first title in the competition. With 2 goals and 2 assists in the Nations League finals, Mbappé was awarded the competition's Golden Boot, known as the Nalipay Top Scorer Trophy. On November 13, Mbappé scored his first goals in the 2022 World Cup qualifiers by finding the net 4 times in an 8-0 win over Kazakhstan, as France booked their place for the tournament's finals. His super hat-trick, which included a 32-minute first-half hat-trick, was his first one in an international match, as well as the first competitive hat-trick scored for France since Dominique Rocheteau in 1985. 3 days later, Mbappé scored and served his 5th assist for Benzema in a row in a 2-0 away win over Finland in the last World Cup qualifier. France kicked off their 2022 FIFA World Cup campaign in Qatar against Australia on November 22, 2022. In the match, Mbappé was involved in 3 of France's goals in a 4-1 victory. He was in the build-up for the second goal, scored the third, a header from an Ousmane Dembélé cross, and assisted Olivier Giroud for the 4th goal. 4 days later, Mbappé scored both of France's goals in a 2-1 victory over Denmark, securing qualification to the knockout stages and thus breaking the World Cup champions' curse. In the knockout round of 16 against Poland, Mbappé scored 2 more goals, the first into the roof of the net from 16 yards and the second being a curling strike into the top corner, in a 3-1 win. After featuring in France's wins against England and Morocco respectively in the quarter and semi-finals, Mbappé became only the second player in history to score a hat-trick in a World Cup final, scoring 3 goals against Argentina in the 2022 World Cup final. The Albiceleste had a 2-0 lead with just over 10 minutes remaining, before the Frenchman scored twice in 2 minutes, the second being a volley after playing a 1-2 with Marcus Thuram. In extra time, Argentina would take the lead again, thanks to Mbappé's PSG teammate Messi, before the forward scored a penalty to make it 3-3, at just 4 minutes from the end of extra time. The match went to a penalty shootout. Mbappé scored his penalty, but France lost following misses by Kingsley Coman and Aurélien Tchouaméni. Mbappé secured the tournament's Golden Boot with 8 goals, and became the 6th all-time top goal scorer in World Cup history with 12 goals, tied with Pelé having scored a goal in the 2018 final. Mbappé also became the outright top goal scorer in World Cup finals, with 4 goals, and his hat-trick was the first in a men's final since Geoff Hurst for England in 1966. 2023, present. Captaincy and Euro semi-finals. On March 21, 2023, following the international retirement of Hugo Lloris, manager Didier Deschamps named Mbappé the new captain of France ahead of their UEFA Euro 2024 qualifying campaign. 3 days later, in his first match as captain, he led France to a 4-0 victory over the Netherlands, by assisting Antoine Griezmann's goal and scoring a brace. On June 19, Mbappé scored a penalty in a 1-0 win over Greece, his 40th goal for Les Bleus. On the same night, he also became the youngest player to make 70 appearances for France. On October 13, Mbappé scored 2 goals for France in a 2-1 win over the Netherlands, securing qualification to UEFA Euro 2024. He also surpassed Michel Platini to become France's 4th all-time top scorer. On November 18, Mbappé scored a hat-trick and provided 3 assists in a 14-0 victory over Gibraltar, France's largest ever victory. His third goal of the match, a long-range shot from 40 meters out, was his 300th career goal. He exceeded Griezmann as France's 3rd all-time top scorer, reaching 46 goals.